Did you hear that? There was something that just moved in one of these two rooms.
We're documenting a destruction that we found last night.
I'll go up to the house, bang on it and say, I don't believe.
Yeah.
Now
What the fuck was that?
Did you hear that?
I'm just,
Hey, what's up, gang? This is Leo with Everyday Legacy Paranormal, along with Road Trip Paranormal. This is the Cryptic Heartland podcast, episode, I believe, number 21. Today is Saturday. I'm in sleep mode still. Today is Sunday, October 8th. Happy to have you here. Remember, this is the podcast, talks about everything paranormal, to UFOs, to Bigfooting, to pretty much everything under the sun and then some. I'm just one of the hosts. To my right and left, I have a couple people with me. Go ahead and introduce yourselves when you're ready.
Michelle Hartman.
and I'm Jason.
Yes, sir. And the man behind the scenes, you can't really see. You can probably hear his voice occasionally.
This is God.
Apparently somebody has a complex, so alright. God, a.k.a. Ruby, a.k.a. No, that's Max. Ruby's not here tonight. That's actually Max behind the
Who's Baby
producing.
Cakes? Who's Baby Cakes?
That'd be me.
That'd be that kid right there.
I have 15 names. Thanks for asking.
You make a mistake one time or 10, and what happens? You get nicknamed. So tonight's episode is going to be a fun one. I think it's, if we can stay awake. We apologize to people at home that are watching. We had a very late night. Most of us didn't get home until about 7 a.m. in the morning. We weren't out partying, unfortunately. We kind of were.
We were at a bar.
Yeah, we were in a bar. We were doing an investigation out in Augusta, Kansas at a bar called Moonshiners. So it was pretty interesting, pretty fun. I don't know if anybody has anything they want to say about it, or...
We had a lot of, what I feel, good things.
Yeah.
Can't wait to go through all of the others.
Definitely.
You know, given the size of the place, I'm always kind of skeptic in the size. Well, I guess size doesn't matter. But
Say like
what are you saying? What are you saying?
in height-wise.
All right, Baby Cakes.
It's good and hot in here.
No, but it's not that big of a place. It was one.
Yeah.
It's one level. It
It
was. Well, you had the main bar, you had where the stage was, and then back where the kitchen was.
Bathrooms, yeah, that was it.
And
One
that-
level.
And it was active, like, from the get-go. From
Pretty
the
much.
moment we got there,
Yeah.
I was impressed with it.
Definitely let us know that it was there and wanted to talk. We heard male voices, female voices, some banging.
I only heard the female voices. I never heard the male
Oh,
voices,
really?
and that was what I was expecting there from their claims. So
Yeah.
it was unexpected.
Yeah, it was, but it was pretty neat, though.
Yeah.
I can't wait to go to the evidence. Part of it was my thinking it could be because there's right behind it is a cemetery within, 5 feet out the back door, and it's there, and quite a few gravestones. So
Large cemetery right there.
Very old cemetery
Yeah.
as well.
I guess it used to be a grocery store one time. It sat idle for a few years in between becoming Moonshiners. So yeah.
He said, how old was the building property or right
Late
there?
1800s.
Oh wow, I didn't realize
Yeah.
that.
Had a house there. At
Oh,
one
cool.
point.
Cool, makes sense. And maybe it could be a bar patron. It could be somebody looking for some groceries.
Yeah,
It could be somebody visiting their body next door. It could be many
and
things.
it used to be a house at one time.
Yeah,
too.
the house,
So
maybe it's former residence. Plus, the land's old. I mean, it could be Indian. It could be, who knows, quite a few things. So,
well, somebody was knocking on the
yeah, that was wild. Yeah, knocking
the
on.
back on the wall.
We could hear it through the building, and this concrete wall surrounding the back wall. We could definitely hear some knocking, and it's just different little things, some different nuances, we'll call them. But regardless, it was fun, and
I think the thing that impressed me is they were loud. I
Yeah.
could hear 'em. There was no problem hearing them.
I would say definitely outside. There was nobody driving around at that time,
Yeah.
so we looked at it multiple times and we thought we heard voices, maybe somebody walking around the building. Nobody was out there, so.
The door opening by itself.
Oh yeah, kitchen door.
Yeah,
Made a
kitchen
distinct sound, and it definitely was making making a ruckus. So.
Yeah.
So.
I also want to just say, we keep changing our location and our background and everything.
No, it's the same thing. It's just different scenes.
Okay.
We just take out the walls and put a backdrop different.
And change tables.
See how much I pay attention to it.
That's
No,
not
but-
asleep.
But we are at a private residence tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to say,
It's
Matt.
my house,
Okay.
It's God's house.
And
Welcome to church.
but at the same time, you think possibly, or
There's a
or
lot of activity
Yeah.
that seems to be happening in this location
so
from the moment. About 2. How did she go?
She wasn't here the whole time. It was a ghost.
I believe it. From about 2 weeks after we moved in, things started happening here. So, hopefully, maybe we can get something on here tonight.
I'm hoping so. That's
Yeah,
another.
definitely.
I like actually doing this in a haunted location, like the where we usually have our show at.
Can't wait to get back in there.
It's under construction, so therefore that might actually
Antagonists.
boost it just a tad bit. So I'm excited about that.
Also, too, the number at the very bottom, is that a good active number? Is that yours, Max?
It's the 3, 2, 1.
Okay, yep. At the very bottom, if you have any questions, want to chime in, there's a live chat stream on the right-hand side. Ask your questions there. Give us anything you want to know. Tell us anything you want to know. Ask any questions. You know what? If you're brave enough, be that person. Call in. Phone number at the very bottom, 321-525-6469. Once again, that's 321-525-6469. Like I said, and hopefully it's none of our own people calling in. We have a couple of those guys that are not here tonight. Jeremiah's not. Which I want to say a shout out to him. Congratulations. He had a baby last Sunday. He wasn't here either last week. I don't know if you guys talked about it or not, but
We did.
did you?
Yeah.
I wasn't here, so I want to say a shout out to the big guy. God, no,
Got the other guy.
Jeremiah, the guy that usually produces our show, and he's been on camera. The big mountain man of a guy, and Stephanie, of course. They welcome a brand new baby daughter.
Beautiful baby girl.
She's gorgeous, yes. So, what else we got going on? Let's see here.
Roast missing. He's
Ruby, he's out doing some family things, and
So he claims.
and of course Paula, the voice behind the scenes, she's out today too.
The lady god.
Yep, she was actually out.
Yeah.
She was actually out in Vegas this past week, and she unfortunately, luckily avoided that whole scene, but was out and about during that time and didn't get to see well, I'm glad she didn't get to see the mass hysteria, basically. But definitely want to say we give our hearts felt to everybody out in Vegas and across the world that was affected by that. It's a tragic event, and it is what it is. It's part of our history, unfortunately. So. But let's talk about some fun stuff, guys. How about the scariest places on Earth? I love that topic. It's October. It's Halloween time. It's that time of year, fall in full swing. So, what do you want to say, Jay?
I was just gonna say, there's so many that we are not gonna hit everyone, but we're gonna hit the ones that we feel close to, or that we like.
Yeah, ones that we enjoy, that are fun, that are some of them well known, some of them may not be well known. You never know people's thoughts. I know a couple people in our group didn't know about a couple we're going to bring up, so which is cool. That makes it fun for good discussion. So
I think these are my wish list. If I could go.
oh gosh, yeah.
You want to go to that?
I want to go to
Forest?
that one. I want to go to that one. I want to go to this one. I want to go everywhere. Trust me.
Yeah, the two I was
There are
talking
really
about.
places that we don't want to go.
That's true. Well,
Maybe what?
the one that you're gonna do, I don't know if I'm.
I would definitely. That's everybody's hot number one, kind of a mecca
There's
around the
things
U.S. So.
dangling in the trees.
Oh,
Yes.
that one too. Yes,
I wanna
that's
go.
the first one. I want to go.
Nah,
So let's dive into it. It's 7-Eleven. No time like the present. Well, I guess I do the short straw. Even though I think he should, because he has no straw. But we're gonna go into everybody's well-known haunt. It is Waverly Hills Sanatorium, located outside of Louisville, Kentucky. The place is well known on the list as far as being haunted. We're going to show some pictures here, some slideshows, and at the end we'll show a video of my time. Not my time, but I'm done talking. I'm still going to be alive hopefully at the end of this. Knock on wood.
Glad we got the witch people.
I know, right? Talking my head. Waverly Hills, which a lot of people probably don't know about. the history behind it, other than they know it was in a insane asylum, sanatorium, whatever you want to call it.
Ghost hunters make it famous.
Yes, it's very active. Probably one of the dog or cat. Is that animal?
You knocked on the table, and
Oh.
Lucy was like,
I heard the whimper, so I'm just like haunted, maybe.
she's on guard right now.
I gotcha. Sorry, Lucy. Their name, Lucy.
Yeah.
Sorry. First of all, the land itself was purchased by a guy back in 1883 named Major Thomas H. Hayes. He needed a school for his daughters to attend to, and so he started a one-room schoolhouse, and he hired a woman named Lizzie Lee Harris to teach at the school. Basically, the teacher herself liked it a lot, so she named it. Sorry, we had a little description.
Sorry, guys.
No, you're fine. She was a big fan of, I guess, something called Waverly Novels. So they changed the name of this place to Waverly School. Well, Major Hayes liked the name so much he decided to change the name of the property to Waverly Hill, and that kind of started the whole thing. And once it was purchased by the Board of the Tuberculosis Hospital, they kept the name after purchasing the land and opened the actual sanatorium at a later date. The actual construction of the sanatorium was built and they started in 1908. It opened for business on July 26th of 1910. And at the time, it was a smaller building. It was only supposed to hold 40 to 50 tuberculosis patients. At this time, of course, tuberculosis was in full swing in the U.S. and they wanted to quarantine everybody away from everybody, kind of within good reason, to keep them away, to kind of isolate the incidences of the tuberculosis. I'll just call it TB for short. I'm going to mess up that word sooner or later. But anyways, basically it was in full swing until ended up, they did some renovations, made it bigger. What's the matter? No, that's big. You see on the screen how huge it is. That's back when it was a school at one time. They actually grew a little bit, it looks like. No, I'm sorry. That's the school for during patients that had TB. Actually went to school, some of the kids that went there. And then this is some of the doors in the building.
I recognize that from Ghost Hunters.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's been made popular by all kinds of shows. Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures.
Grave Encounters was loosely based off of some
Oh,
of the
yeah.
things there too.
Yeah. The couple of videos, you're gonna see some shadow people down there. These are some of the famous photos of Waverly Hill, sorry. That they've caught all kinds of people, shadows of nurses, children, different things. So basically, the building was closed in 1962 or 1961. I'm sorry, when the cure of TB was finally, found, and basically it's closed down and quarantined. Then it was renovated, and then 1962 reopened as the Woodhaven Medical Service, a geriatric facility. And it was basically in effect until it was closed by the state in 1981. Now, over the years, there's been reports of the patients that were being mistreated. Basically, there was abuse going on. They had too many patients in one room, or they put them out the hallway. It was just, as you could expect, it was probably overbearing. A lot of pain, sickness, suffering throughout the years, which a lot of people think that's the reason why there's a lot of activity to this day. I'll get to some of the famous haunts here in just a second. You can see this. What was on the screen a minute ago was the TB patients getting wheeled out of the rooms just to get some fresh sunlight, basically. That way they can, it's supposed to help with, I think, the disease also too itself. At one point in recent years, it sat idle for a while until a couple people purchased it and may turn it into what it is today, the ghost hunting mecca in the United States, basically, where people want to go and visit. And you can go and visit publicly on private tours, or you can, for like teams like us, we can go and actually pay to investigate, but it's kind of a hefty price. I've looked into it. I can't remember the exact price off the top of my head. It's like $450.
I was say it's like $400.
Yeah, it's pretty
It's for
expensive.
like a group of 5
Yeah.
or something like that.
And some of it's like certain time frames. You can only investigate for a certain time period, or if you go all night, I think the fee goes up a little bit or something. I can't remember exactly. But nonetheless, I would like to go there one of these days because, it's very, very haunted. There's not much. I'm pretty sure the building doesn't have much electricity now, so when you're there, you're pretty much in the dark. Which we like anyways, but sounds Starvation dogs. That's the body chutes on there where they would basically down in the basement underneath the building, off the property. They would, when patients would die, they would put them in there, take them down there so the patients that are living didn't see them, getting wheeled away, and that's how they
Just drop them down a chute.
they would wheel them down there. It was
Yeah,
on a
it's like-
conveyor belt. They
yeah.
push them down there from one end to the property to the other, and then they would
It's bad enough when you have that many bodies at one time, where you have to build a conveyor belt to drag them through.
Definitely. Picture on the screen right now, that's a nurse called Mary Lee. Everybody's cutting. There she is again. This is her ghost that somebody's captured outside of her room where there's many stories going around. Some of them say it never happened. Some people say it did happen, where she's one of the ghosts that haunts it. In room 502 upstairs, supposedly the story is she got pregnant by somebody, maybe a doctor or whoever, and was trying to hide it, and she was just distraught over it, so she committed suicide, hung herself. That's her. And the ghost, the picture on the right, you can see her face right there, and then that's an image of a ghost girl that resembles Mary Lee. I mean, I know that's one of the ones that everybody who's a ghost hunter wants to go and try to find is room 502. Try to find this ghost, and supposedly there's been attacks up there. It's pretty dark, but there's more to that story as far as why there's a lot of attacks going on. I'll tell in just a second here, but then there's also the room of Timmy, who is a little child, and if you've seen any of the ghost hunting shows on TV or anywhere, there's always a ball. They always bring a ball in a certain room. It's the children's ward kind of area, where they set a ball down and it'll behave erratically, where it'll start moving in different directions that shouldn't make sense, and it'll roll around and stuff the room and down the hallway and things like that.
Timmy.
There's been many. They just call him Timmy. I don't know who came up with that name, but
Timmy.
yeah, Timmy. So there's the coming up, or maybe not. It's on our screen. Sorry. That's the morgue, the body chute, or the morgue room, but they put the bodies on there. He hasn't put it on the screen yet.
Yeah.
We see it behind the scenes. That's Waverly, the front of it. It's just a big ominous front, big facade. That's pretty crazy.
So what's the haunting?
One was Mary Lee, the nurse, in room 502, and then Timmy, the child. But they've seen many apparitions there.
Right.
There's been, nurses, doctors, patients. Go ahead, you're gonna say
What's the estimated death toll?
I don't remember off the top of my head. That's a good question. I should have looked that up. I apologize.
I'm sorry.
But I was more.
I mean, just with TB and everything,
Yeah.
with that going on there.
I was so intrigued by just the whole story of itself, and then the hauntings itself. I forgot to look at something like that, which I probably should have. I apologize. I'll try to find it real fast here. But they think because of all the tragedy that's happened there, the sickness, the pain, the suicides and stuff like that, they think. Did you have it?
Yeah.
Go ahead and read off, Jason.
5,000 to 6,000.
TB patients.
Yeah, 1,000
Wow.
deaths.
That's probably not surprising because of all the time the TB was
Yeah.
the main thing going on, But here's where it gets kind of crazy. The darkness of it behind it is, other than the suicides and the patients that's treating, there is a known entity there, very, very dark. This is where you enter at your own risk. They just call it the creeper because
The creeper?
they think it's a culmination of all the bad things there, and it's pretty demonic in nature. If you've ever seen videos of it, it's very dark. Some of those shadows pictures may have been, as people say, but the creeper is just something that if you come face to face with it, it's going to be a bad ending for you. Basically, you're going to get attacked, scratched, possessed. It's the darkest of all things there, and it's many ghost shows that try to hit on that. They caught it. They thought on video. But I could never find an actual video of it. I know ghost hunters thought they had it at one time. Probably Ghost Adventures, because they always.
So you're saying some of those shadows could have been.
There's one in
possibly-
particular, yeah. If you go back, there's one with the circle of the dark. It's like a dark entity. It's that one in the hallways. You'll see at the end it's circled in
Yeah,
red.
it's coming up, I think, here in just a second.
Max has them going on right now. So, hey Max, do we have sound, right?
Yeah.
I don't see the meter jumping. Sorry. If you go back to that main screen. Is it muted? Oh, I see it now at the very bottom. Okay, I'm sorry. It's because the box in the way. I was making sure I wouldn't waste my breath and talk. I get long-winded. Trust me, we all get long-winded, especially when it comes to this stuff.
No.
But
no way.
No, but if you can find that, if you go back, sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull them up now.
I didn't have that video.
This
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna pull it up here in just a second. So that's one image of. There's two actually images of. There's one in the room also too, but that's the body shoots coming up. So that is a shadow person at the end of the hallway. Some people think it's a creeper. Some people say it's a nurse. It's definitely a shadow person down there. That's not. Like I said, it's dark down there, so it's not. I know people try to debunk it as far as taking pictures, with the RR lights behind them, and they can recreate something similar to it. They can't create a definite, image of that. But what do you guys think about the whole Waverly Place? I mean, to me, it's on everybody's ghost hunting list. It's on mine. It's probably one of my number ones in the U.S. for sure.
If we could, I'd like to visit it when it's not being overwhelmed by probably 50 to 100 people visiting and touring and stuff like that. I'd love to do it on our own instead of having to pay to.
Right.
But I'd pay to help donate to the building.
Well,
for
for sure,
upkeep,
yeah,
but
definitely.
Does anyone else think this guy looks like he has a hat on?
I thought the Hat Man too. Speaking of one of our
honestly,
earlier episodes,
to me,
yeah.
it looks like Jason sitting there, standing there. He's got that kind of arm out and
Freddy
everything
Krueger?
like that.
Yeah,
No, well, he's just got that arm out, he's standing there menacing, like he's about ready to just pounce on you.
Yeah, it's pretty intimidating, but I've seen the creeper more as when I've seen videos and pictures of him, more of a tall, thin entity. I mean, huge. We're talking like 7 foot.
So like Slenderman. That's what you're saying.
In essence, yeah. But I mean, it's just pitch black, and then you feel it. I mean, there's been a lot of aggression with people he's been around. Like I said, partial possessions. And just different things. Like I said, it's one that I would definitely want to go to, just because of the fact that it's well known. It's had such unfortunate bad history, with the pain, the suffering, all that kind of things. But there's definite activity there as far as the ball moving, which we had a video. I don't know why it's not pulling up. I'm gonna try to send it to Max real quick here if I can get it going. It's going real slow. I sent it to him in a file earlier and it's not there. It's one actually. One of the shows that went there. If you remember Factor Fake Paranormal Files.
Oh yeah.
They went there. Show. Yeah, they went there and they actually had the ball rolling on front.
Was it up in those one rooms? And
it's in the child's ward where they look for
Okay.
Timmy. I'm trying to get this pulled up real quick here real fast. I have it saved. Sorry about that, guys at home. I don't know if you guys have any other questions or anything you want to ask me while I'm trying to get this pulled up here. Sorry.
Anyone else have any other questions about
No.
Or any thoughts or anything you want to talk about or?
I don't know. I mean, it's one of the most believable ones, just for the fact of everything that went. The amount of deaths that happened there.
Oh, for sure.
Of course, that's not even counting probably the ones that are not even documented. That probably,
Right.
The chances of them even burying them on property, unmarked graves
Yeah.
out there. I mean, stuff like that happened all the
I
time.
mean, 5,000 to 6,000 people,
Yeah.
and probably some of those patients were unclaimed. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe that's another reason why it's so haunted.
Just going to Glore Psychiatric Hospital,
Right.
there's unmarked
Missouri.
graves out there. Well, I say unmarked graves. There's graves marked with just a number, and that's all you have.
Right.
They don't even have your name documented.
Right, which a lot of those
Yeah,
paranormal people or enthusiasts like us,
Mhm.
or groups, they think that's part of the reason why, because they're just trying to find their place in
Well, and how
their
many?
identity, basically,
makes
their
sense.
forgotten soul, basically. Go ahead,
Well,
sorry.
and forgotten while they were alive, because most of them, their family just dumped them there.
Yeah,
They got sick,
yeah, that
and
too.
they leave them there.
Yep,
They had nothing else to do, nothing else. They didn't want them to be around, and
definitely.
once you arrived, that's where you died.
You're just a number at that point.
Max, I'm gonna resend it to you. And the file I have here, it's on there, so I'm not sure why it's not pulling up on yours. I just sent it to you again. Hopefully it's there. Like I said, I thought it was pretty neat because the ball was moving, and
It's in this one, but it
Yeah, that's weird. so we're gonna play a video here, and I don't think we have the volume. I don't have the remote, unfortunately, with me. Oh, it's in the car. So
Turn it up manually if I can find the buttons.
there's only one button I could ever find in the
I mean, we can just watch the ball.
yeah, you can go back and watch it later on. But yeah, this is the ball moving here, and
Just give me 1
he's
second.
gonna upload it here, and to go to a different place apparently.
No, it just
Oh.
it came up
Once you do
exactly
try to
where I
tell
wanted
me.
it to
So
go.
who's doing this?
This is Factor Fake Paranormal Files.
This is Factor
yeah,
Fake, okay.
You'll see, you might recognize a
I've
couple
seen
of them.
that.
There's Austin on there.
Oh yeah, love that
The,
show.
can't remember the girl's name. Not she's the Afro American girl, Tanisha maybe. And then Ben, the former retired FBI agent.
All right.
So here's the video coming up right now, guys. I believe.
If you're here with me, can you move this ball for me?
Sure. Did you kill our Mike's head?
I was gonna leave.
Austin, as soon as I started asking Timmy questions, this ball started moving on its own in different directions.
And there's no breeze in here.
Lanisha, I'm seeing the ball move on the IR cam right now. Holy... You guys, something is moving the ball right now. Guys, I just watched the ball roll out of the corner and out the door.
Look at that. And it was right against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is the ball that you left.
Yes, and if you look again, the weirdest thing is that there's a ball in the room right next to it, and it didn't move at all the entire time.
It's almost like the ball that you placed knew where it was going.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the verdict? Is Waverly Hills haunted?
But when it comes down to the experiences and evidence that we gathered that night, I'm gonna say Waverly Hills is haunted.
So,
Interesting.
hot Mike. So that was a video from Fact or Fake Paranormal Files. They went there. They had a couple other things that, other than the ball, they went and did some other investigations. There was a video I didn't put in here, but of somebody on thermal caught like a couple people coming out of a room, which, give or take of the video, you weren't there, so you don't know if it could have been there, a guest, a teammate, somebody down there, you know, and like, oh, it could have been fake, you know.
Right.
The thermal's not, it's in black and white actually, it's not colored
Like
thermal.
actual
Yeah,
thermal.
so you can't tell if it's heat or not, it's just black and white, so.
And if I remember right, ghost hunters, they saw the person walking on the outer side.
Yep.
From those doorways, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
That was always fascinating. I always loved those episodes.
Yeah, those are my favorite episodes. Anytime you go to Waverly, it's like those were the ones that had the most activity. So, or you know, the most intriguing because I know so much about the place and it's on my bucket list and whatnot. So, all right, well, that's what I have for Waverly. If anybody else wants to talk about anything, let's dive in. Or you don't have any ads this week?
I do have some ads.
Well, let's
All
play.
right.
We can play an ad real quick to kind of bring up the scene here a little bit and go from there. He's ready. I kind of put him on the spot. Sorry. And go. Come on, Max.
All right.
But we'll be going here soon to one of our ads, and we'll be back in about. Depends
A few seconds.
Yeah.
About a minute or
About
so.
a minute. Yeah.
Anywhere from 3 seconds to 2 minutes somewhere.
Definitely. Sorry, you're fine. Alright, we're back live. That was just a video about our group, one of the groups we were in, Everyday Legacy Paranormal. Coming up, I think we're going to Jason, right?
All right.
Your story.
So, given the most haunted locations in the world, and it's Halloween season, so why not talk about Dracula?
Ooh.
So, everybody knows Dracula, but hardly anybody realizes that most likely it was a true story. Well, it wasn't most likely. It is a true story.
Yep.
And one of my favorite locations that I love to talk about and read on is Bran Castle, which is going to be popping up here soon. Bran Castle dates back to around the 1200s. It is up on a cliff. There's about 1,000-foot drop around it,
Right.
surrounded by forest. It is. It's seen many battles, years of torture, death, and it is famous for being the home of Vlad Tepes. If anybody knows Vlad Tepes, you know Vlad Tepes.
Vlad name, that one.
Yes.
I've heard it also
Taylor.
pronounced Vlad Tepes.
Yeah,
So,
Tepes.
Tepes.
Vlad Tepes.
Yep. So, yep.
He's also Vlad was the son of of Dracul.
Dracula.
So he took the name as he was growing up as Dracula, which means son of the dragon.
Yep.
And anyway, the castle itself. Now, Vlad, as he was growing up, Vlad went through years and years of being taken away from family, torture. He was separated. He went through a lot. Now, he started off as Christian.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a Christian background and belief. As he grew up, he went away from that, given everything that was going on in their land. And you can go to the next picture too. There's a little picture of showing the inner parts of it, which, you know, as you can tell right there,
Oh, yeah.
it looks like a village. Just looks like
That was the village.
I know.
All right.
No, that's the castle itself.
Whoa.
It looks very normal. It looks actually peaceful.
Yeah, it's comfortable.
It does.
Yep.
Now, given the fact that as Vlad was trying to develop his army and try to develop his kingdom, he decided to do a lot of different ways of torture. And something that he grew up, he witnessed while imprisoned was the torture of impalement.
Yep.
Which, how he would do it is that he would get his victim on the ground. They're spread eagle, tied, with their legs spread apart. The ropes would be tied to horses, and that's when they would take the
four quarters. Yep.
That's when they would take the
I gotcha.
the impalement, the spear or whatever they're doing on, and the horse would move forward, pulling the person onto it. And then they would cut the ropes, driving it forward with the horses, and then they would prop them up and have them dangling up there. Now, of course, that was probably one of the most gruesome things you can think of back then. And besides drawing them and cutting them, and here's some more views of the castle and the whereabouts in the. Now it looks peaceful. It looks, I mean, just beautiful there. I mean, it would be
Think about the movies,
exactly.
Like, you see this castle, and
Right.
it's always raining, and then there's the
Yeah.
thunder and the lightning. And you're like, ah.
Well, here's the thing. Vlad, you know, he takes the name Dracul, and there's the scary, you know, nighttime version of it and everything. He is based on his whole life. The story of Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula, is supposedly based on him. But here's the thing. Bram Stoker never even knew anything about the castle and probably didn't even know anything about him. So there's debate on whether or not that Vlad Tepes was even the key figure of it.
Right.
They didn't even really know that. But the fact that he had so much gore to his life and the way he killed everybody on, and if you go to the next picture, there's a picture of him kind of on display. That is Vlad himself. Now when he was trying to, his basic proper way of, not proper, sorry.
His way of doing stuff.
Sorry, just getting distracted. his way of getting things through and distracting the other armies from attacking was that when they were coming in, he would have all these bodies punctured and impaled and all around his property.
Mm-hmm.
And there's even stories of him sitting out there eating his dinner and drinking the blood from the bodies, just so he can have that psychological effect on the people coming in. Now, it wasn't just for that either. He wanted to make a successful, reign there. So he would capture hundreds of people. He would make them slaves. They would be helped to build the castle and build more walls onto it. There's hundreds of them that would fall to their death just trying to build the place. And there's a mannequin of the impalement of what they would do to people back then.
Right.
And most of them wouldn't even die from the impalement itself. They would die from just exposure out there and bleeding out.
Yeah.
But, so, you can just imagine with the amount of death and horror that happened there. I mean, people being imprisoned in this castle and tortured.
Right.
The blood spilled. The torture chambers down in the basement, which you can even see in the concrete hallways there too. But the crazy thing is this is in the city of Bran, and they use this castle now as a tourist attraction.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So it is something that you can go and visit all the time.
Yeah.
And now, so many people say that there's the land itself is cursed from all the deaths that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you can see in this picture, with the mannequins there, all the land around it, people will try to hike it. They will try to go up. Even before they even had the roads leading up to it, the only way to go up there was to hike it or travel. So they claim that the land was cursed.
Right.
All because of the fact that so many people had accidents or fell to their deaths just trying to hike it.
Right.
Because the ground is so uneven, it's not safe to do. It's not safe to be around.
Definitely.
But there's ghost enthusiasts that go up there. They I've seen on documentaries where they've actually locked themselves in Dracula's castle to try to see if they can spend the night.
Yeah.
There's all the claims of they hear shadows, or they hear movement, they see shadows, all that around there. But overall, a frightening place given the fact that it's the horror that happened there.
Yeah.
In fact, not that long ago, they had to shut it down because it was being infested by bears.
Yep.
Bears were going into it and were running people off. So bears were just inhabiting.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of bears, they also, I know, in the pits down below the torture chambers, they had a pit where they would put people in there as one of the torturers. They would throw them in the live pit with bears for entertainment or just because they could.
Oh yeah, I think there's been paintings based on that too.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's pretty gruesome. I mean, his whole mission was just to basically cause panic. Anybody who wanted to challenge him, overtake him.
You're telling me there's vampire bears.
Well, see, I mean,
Maybe.
the whole vampire story is just, it's kind of just a tale that got attracted to him.
Yeah.
Or attached to him.
He just took it and ran with it, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know if he even thought about, the vampire idea of it. It was just through Bram Stoker and...
Yeah. It was the whole drinking blood thing,
Yeah, that one was weird.
The tag, whatever.
That one was weird.
Drinks blood, and then this rumor spread. He's biting people, kind of the whole story, like you said.
Bit me.
Yeah. Yeah, you said Bram Stoker's.
But the fact that, Bram didn't even know of the castle, and that's the crazy part. It's like he didn't even know much of the story, but so many people just associate from the book and what was written about it.
Right.
They put it to the story of that castle.
Right. Which is how we got modern day Dracula.
Exactly.
Yeah, just because of the whole Dracul, name.
And the story, of the powers and everything that he did. He left his human soul to take on a demon soul, basically, because of drinking the blood everyone, you know,
Right.
losing
Definitely.
that human mentality, basically,
Yeah.
becoming a monster, so to speak.
Yeah. Definitely on one of my bucket lists I want to go to. I've always wanted to go for years. It's in Romania, though. I know getting there is not the easiest. You have to fly in, you have to drive, and it's just a whole process. And
going up to it, you watch the videos of some people. They said it's like just going up the staircase because you have to hold onto the railing.
Right.
It's one of the most windiest places up there because you're going and the wind's just blowing, and you're looking down. You know, it's a scary area. I mean, just the thought of going up there itself is psychological.
Yeah.
On you, you can just get that feeling. Okay, this is not safe. Something bad's gonna happen. You know. So it does scare people. It does. And for not that long ago, it was for sale.
I didn't say
So I don't. Max is like, I'm on it. No, I don't know if it still is, but it was on the market.
I was gonna pull it up and look.
Yeah,
myself.
it was on the market. I know as of last year, it was on the market.
So that, it says the $80 million castle.
$80 million castle.
Yeah.
You know,
we pitch all our money in, we can probably close.
Yeah.
I mean,
sell
there's
everything
a
we
church
have.
down the street that we could buy instead of
I
that.
saw it today, by the way. But it's not that Vlad the Impaler's castle.
But you can
it says
decorate
it's
it.
actually on sale now. Oh wait, it says not for sale.
Not for
But there
sale.
was a Romanian talking that said it was for 66 million.
66 million?
You could buy this location, but the owners say no, it's just a rumor. Possibly.
Well, I mean, why not? Why not sell it to somebody? I mean, you get that much money.
Yeah, if somebody offered me 66 million, why not? I mean,
Why not? I mean,
Nobody
what am I going to
seen
do with the
houses.
cat? You know, if I'm putting all my money into it and I'm not rich or whatever, and I'm, you know, you're just doing it. You know, I don't know how much it is per ticket, but you know, it says per ticket to go visit. So you know, you can't be making a whole lot because there's not a lot of people who can truly make it up to that spot. It's just but it is a tourist attraction and destination basically.
There's so much lore behind it. The whole Transylvania, I mean, that's where it's
Oh
located,
yeah,
you know,
the lore behind it itself just brings out, you know, the spookiness to
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Whether or not there is truly anything there, it is still on the list of most haunted castles just because of what he did there and the amount of people that died in that place and around it, all on that land.
Yeah, some of the shows that have gone there, I mean, there's been quite a few shows that went there aside from the well-known ones. They've all came out with just weird, spooky stuff. And, you know, evidence that was just
Is there anybody
freaky.
that stays up there, lives in the
I'm
camp?
sure there's curators and all that
Well,
stuff.
I was
yeah.
thinking
There is,
the people who keep it
Because
up.
they have all, you know, it's got running water, electricity, and all that.
It's
too,
not
yeah.
something you'd want to run up and down every day.
No, it's your typical museum though. There's
Yeah.
there's a guard there, a curator there, and they all have stories of things going on that, you know, weird stories because they've been on some of the shows with them.
I mean, built in the 1200s, you know, 1212.
Yeah.
And just grown from there. I mean, the amount of people that have touched it is amazing.
Yeah.
So.
Because Ghost Adventures did their Halloween special was there a couple of years ago. I think it was last year maybe. They did a 2-hour special
I think
there.
I remember them doing that.
And they went, you know, did the whole story behind it and the lead up to it, and spent quite a few days there, and it was pretty neat. It was like 5 days they were there, I think, if I remember right. But
yeah, every year I start watching whatever documentary they have on this just to see what if they have. I think they even have located where his body is.
Yeah, there is.
And supposedly he's missing his head, or it's got a spike through it. You know, there's all these, you know, vampire rumors, you know, that they did that.
There is a couple locations. There's one supposedly he's buried on the property, like in is there a church or something if I remember right, or something kind of like that.
Yeah.
Like that. Supposedly he's buried underneath there. But there's actually a shrine out in the forest. You go down the property, down the ways, down the street a little bit, and you go off into this forest and hike out there, and there's an actual shrine there with the tomb, catacomb kind of thing that's sitting there, mausoleum, I guess.
But is his body in there? We don't know.
Apparently it's only $2 to go on the tour.
Is it $2? $2 even. $2 US money.
Yeah. Their conversion is like so much, you know, less than ours.
Is that to go up into the castle?
Yeah, that's the
where
tour
you
de
take the
castle.
tour and, you know, around inside, and
It's,
it's a museum.
Well, you know, you pay enough money on the ticket to fly out there.
Yeah.
You know, I'll pay my $2 to go see it.
Well,
Like I
absolutely.
said, I would love to stay there and investigate there.
Disabled people get in free.
See, there we go.
Let's be
So can we get?
stairs.
Could we get her up there though?
There's got to be a way.
Yeah,
sure.
I know.
I mean, they
Pulley
offer
system.
it. There might be elevators too, or something. You never know, like a tram or something like the sky tram.
Yeah,
So
Something
that'd be
like
fun.
that. Yeah.
that's
So-
just crazy.
If you're a senior citizen, it only costs $1.44.
Okay, see, I've saved money. I can go.
He saved money to go see Dracula.
Heck yeah, man. I'm all for it.
Oh, that
Are
sounds.
there actual like stories from people of this actually being like a haunted location, or is
Oh,
it
yeah.
just
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they see the shadows, they hear the voices, the strange things.
The screams. Yeah, there's screams.
Screams out in the woods.
Yeah. There's audible voices being captured there. I mean,
Yeah.
there's quite a. I mean, it is probably one of the most haunted places in the world. Another one of them
Yeah.
that we've known about for years.
I mean, just looking at it right there is. Yeah.
oh yeah.
yeah, it's impressive.
Can you put it up one more time?
I was pulling up on that. Yep. So that's just
See,
you know.
I just love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's impressive just looking at
But
it.
it's 1,000-foot drop. I mean, everyone who's having, who's fallen from that, just
Right.
working on it, no.
Not sound like fun.
It's just crazy how
It looks so clean and neat, and
it does. It
you
really
expect
does.
spider webs and broken, rocks and stuff.
But think that that's the whole, background of Dracula right there.
Well,
I
did
love
did he hear the name Dracula?
His father was was in the family of the Dracul, which is
Okay.
dragon.
Yeah.
So he took on Dracula, which was the meaning son of the dragon.
Which they just, like I said, extended to Dracula, and
It seems like I don't know.
It really has nothing to do with vampires. It was
Yeah.
that was just the family name that they took on.
Bram Stoker came
Yeah,
out at the same time with the book that talks about this vampire sucking blood. And like I said, we talked about him
Yeah.
drinking blood, and it became kind of married.
Everybody just
You know,
meshed it
married
together.
Yeah.
Because when
so-
they started reading the story, they were like, "That sounds just like the castle, in Bran,
Mhm.
out in Romania,
Romania.
Romania,
That one place.
Ramona's house.
Romania."
Who's Ramon?
So yeah, that's just where they,
Yeah.
the father of vampires, and he's not even a vampire.
that we know of.
He was just a psychotic.
Well, he even looks kind of creepy. I mean,
Yeah.
What if he was a vampire? Did he tell you that it was a vampire?
No,
Okay.
I don't think he ever bit anybody, but I mean, he was out there drinking the blood.
Yeah.
Of course, he
Maybe
could have been.
ironed
But
it.
I mean, he might have just even put the blood in a glass and just sat there. I mean, that's enough to make anybody riding up just like freak out.
Yeah.
If you were riding up and you're seeing hundreds of bodies impaled and all dead, all rotting, and here he is just sitting there with his table eating his chicken leg or whatever that is, and he's drinking the blood from whatever body is dripping there,
Mhm.
and he just.
Like, oh hey guys,
That's
welcome
enough
to my
to
house.
that's enough to just kind of make you turn right around and go.
Yeah.
It makes you think, you're a monster. That's crazy. I don't want to have anything to do with
Like I
that.
said, it's definitely one way to get your point across. I mean,
It is.
if you call me a monster, I'm going to act like it, I guess.
Yeah,
and,
let me show you.
Yep.
I should
There is one story also, and then we'll move on.
You're fine.
One story that he had a room full of about 100 people. He wined them, dined them, talking, and then he asked them how many kings have they ever served under or seen or been around. And most of them were like, "Oh, I've been around, 12 or 16 kings, and in his mind that was his answer of, so you basically don't take me serious. So
Right.
you won't
And
see
then
me as anything more or better than what you've already seen. So in that moment, he's had his army surround him, and he led them out on basically a death walk. And he captured them all and made them work to death on the castle. Those are some of the ones who fell from the property. They were forced to work without food, water. They just basically worked until they died. and that was another way of getting his point across.
Oh yeah, he's definitely
You
effective.
know, you don't think I'm king, so I'm going to take you out, basically. You just enjoyed your last meal, now get to work, you know. And that's how he did his thing. It was all, like I said, psychological.
Was he ever married, did it say?
Not that I've ever seen. Not that I've ever read.
Well, I didn't think I had, but I just, well,
You know, you watch Bram Stoker's, you know, the movie Bram Stoker's Dracula, you know, with Keanu Reeves and a few others. I think he had like a love of his life and all that.
Right.
They make it out to that, and she dies. He tries to. There you go. That's his wife. So it was true.
But Justina,
Yep, that's it.
Whatever it says.
Zalagi.
But see, they never talk about her.
She was the second wife.
Nice.
Makes sense. I mean, why not? You are king.
Yeah.
But they just don't ever talk about it when it comes to
Well, that's-
all the documentaries and all the, you know, when they start talking
Yeah.
about all of his reign of terror, they don't mention the wife.
Family.
No.
Whether he had any children or wives or anything.
There is, I know there's some descendants of his that I know ghost hunters actually talked to the it's like the great niece, cousin, or something like that down the road, and while they were talking to her, there was weird stuff going on. Like this during broad daylight, they were hearing like weird sounds and stuff, like howling, kind of like wind or something, and it's pretty interesting to be, you know, a distant relative of him. And have that moniker, you know, she lives in the area still, so I mean, but she doesn't have any, you know, say in the castle, of course, because it's been sold years ago.
Right. I mean, he had 3 reigns of terror, so.
Yep.
So I think he had kids.
Oh, I'm sure he did. I mean,
Yeah.
Dracula's descendants and all that. But very, very cool place. One of my bucket list places, you know,
I'd
one
like
of
to
these
go there.
days. I say one of these days.
Actually,
Gotta
we
make it
should
out
just
there.
go one of these years. Seriously, I mean, why not?
I want to go see, you know, Germany, Romania, all that.
Go to all the castles,
England, oh,
Yeah.
Scotland, you know, Ireland, everywhere.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, should we take another break?
Yeah, let's take a quick break when Max is ready. I know we keep putting him on the spot. He's like, I hate you guys, but screw you guys.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back.
Be back in a few.
Welcome back.
We're back live, and I'm going to turn over to Michelle here. She's going to give us one of her
Okay, I'm going to talk about the Tower of London. We've all heard about it, and probably most everybody knows all the stories, but it's over 900 years old. What I found interesting was there was only 7 people executed in the 1700s.
Oh, wow.
There were 12 executed in the Tower of London from the 2 world wars.
Huh.
So that, to me, that was kind of interesting. But
yeah, definitely.
we all know that the Tower of London, that's where they They had their prisoners. It had. They did everything in the tower, but these are some of the people that they think are haunting it. Thomas Becket, who he was said to have reduced. They had a curtain wall there, and he didn't like the way it was built. This act as a ghost, he took his cross and demolished it, and they rebuilt it, and he evidently liked it, and he left it.
Those ghosts can get picky, man.
Well, that was his baby, and he didn't mess with his wall. Arbella Stewart, she was married to the nephew of Lady Jane Grey. She was put in the tower for plotting against, for plotting to get her husband out of the tower. And she died there in 1615. They thought that she might have been murdered, which in those days, you couldn't trust your own mother, father, sister, brother. They were
so sad.
Some of those are the same people.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Especially, well, yeah, back in those days.
And, there was a lot of torture and everything that went on in the building.
Right.
There were 2 young princes that were put there by their uncle. They disappeared. They later found the skeletons of 2 small children there, and they think that they were probably the 2 young princes.
Mm-hmm.
But they hear the boys playing, and some people have said that they've seen them huddling in rooms in terror.
Yeah, that was Edward and Richard, right?
Yeah. And then there's a lady in white that you can smell her perfume, and she stands at a window. My favorite is Anne Boleyn.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Who was Henry VIII's second wife. She was beheaded because he wanted to marry somebody else. She was beheaded in May 19th, 1536. He had a way of getting rid of wives pretty easily.
Yeah.
It says that she appears to be close to the site where she was beheaded. She's also been seen leading processions down the aisle of a chapel. And the reports say that she's walked. Some of them she's headless.
Yep.
Some of them she's carrying her head.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Seriously?
Seriously. Which I think is kind of funny. I mean, that's just. But
why is a spirit carrying her head?
Well, she lost it.
Well, you did lose it.
That was the last place of existence.
But if you're carrying it, why not just put it back on?
He's falling off.
I guess she's not nearly a headless snake,
Exactly.
I thought the same thing.
Because she lost it all the way because she was at the guillotine.
And she's actually been known to haunt 5 places at once. She's the most well-traveled ghost in England.
Wow.
There's 5 places that they say that they have seen her.
Really?
Yeah.
Carrying her head.
Yep.
Just walk around like.
I don't know. See, that is so. I always think. You hear the guy by the train. Who's carrying his head or looking for his head. I don't know.
Yeah.
You're the guy with the train.
And then they had this horse. Well, you always hear those, stories of the guy with the lantern out on the train looking for his head. I've read stories of that growing up. But then, you have the headless horseman too.
Well, he had 2 wives that he beheaded, so I don't know how they can tell
Did
which
we
ones.
just talk about that last night? Like serious case of.
I remember that.
I
It
don't
was
think we
like-
talked about.
Divorced, beheaded, lived, divorced.
Oh, the Paula,
Yeah, Paula was last night. We were talking about that last night.
Died.
Last night in the investigation we were talking about that right before we started.
Yeah, you're right.
But,
Some of the other hauntings, the guards have reported that there's a terrible crushing feeling whenever they bring out the armor of King Henry VIII.
Oh wow.
And one guard reported that when he was walking, that something came up behind him, and it was like they threw a cloak over him, and then they tightened the cloth and to choke him.
Wow.
And that's what the guards are reporting. So,
That's interesting.
I wouldn't want to be a guard.
No.
But those are just some of, I'm sure that the place is just really full, because that's where they put all their prisoners and their,
Well, think about the undocumented deaths that are there, you know.
yeah, I mean, and torture, you know, everything that,
That has to be.
I would think.
Undocumented.
I would just about, I was just kind of surprised that there was no more people than that executed
Yeah.
there. But I'm sure a lot more died because they were, you know, prisoners in there, prisoners there.
Right.
So,
And you have prisoners, and then you have whatever diseases or whatever was going around at the time that probably killed numbers.
Right.
well, just all
That always happens in the past.
Yeah.
the energy of these people, because they were just so not nice. They were just not
Let's
nice.
put it mildly. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not nice. We'll cut your head off.
Yeah, I don't care if you
I-
hit my son.
I just couldn't imagine being led up there to knowing that, you know, this machine's gonna like chop my head off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that and hanging, you know.
Right.
It's like, just shoot me. I'd rather just get it over with, and I don't know.
Hard to say. Yeah. I don't,
Well, but I'd rather have the guillotine than the way they had just
Well,
somebody.
some say that you can live like
Yeah, you
9
still-
seconds or
Yeah.
so. I mean, the guy blinked his
still
eyes
feel
or whatever.
Pain, supposedly. And,
Yeah.
But they used to pay to get a good axe man,
Oh yeah, you get the axe.
because if they messed up,
Yeah.
you could suffer greatly.
oh yeah.
So
Yep.
you had to pay to
You
get
might
a
have
good-
to chop it a couple of times.
Yeah.
There's also one report of one of the guards, one of the sentry guards outside, I think it's called the Jewel House, seeing the apparition of a bear charging at him. That supposedly
Oh, really?
it frightened him so bad that he died on sight because it just died from fear. Did not get mauled by this apparition of a bear.
How we know he saw it?
Somebody must have witnessed it too because he was one of the guards or something.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's just one of the rumors out there. It said it happened in January of 1816.
And a bear inside there?
It's called the Jewel House. I'm not sure where that's actually located on the grounds, but it's
Yeah, the crown jewels are kept in.
yeah, maybe that's
Right.
There.
So maybe just seen this bear. What if it was on the land before? I mean,
That's true.
it doesn't
That's
matter
true.
if it's supposed to be an apparition, you know. But that's just one of
Or
the stories. Yeah.
just-
Now it's
and-
ghost bears.
Now it's
Yeah.
a manifestation of something doing that to
Oh,
great fear.
We've been on occasions where we thought we dealt with the spirits of animals. I mean, dogs and cats,
Right.
and different things. So yeah,
See, that is one thing I have not dealt with.
Yeah.
Spirits of animals. I've never.
Right.
it's weird. They're usually what you think. They're low to the ground, and you know they're. You know, I had shorts on in one particular occasion, and this dog had passed away in the house, and was the owner's favorite. You know, of course, their family, and
Right.
all night we could follow something around with our millimeter, room to room, and it was real low, and it kept brushing against my leg. You know, real low, and I'm like, that's the same place where we had the ghost box. We're like, you know, what's the name? What's the animal's name? And it said the dog's name through it. Plain as day. Yeah, and the name was Zoe, so it was unique. It wasn't like, oh, it's John Smith kind of a thing. Oh, that's the dog's name, you know, kind of a thing. It's actually Zoe is unique to come through our ghost box. So,
Right.
but yeah, I wasn't surprised that there's animals out there. But
Oh well, we were in that one house where we all heard the cat cry.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's true.
The phantom cat.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't hear it first because I was coming in late because I went to go grab keys to another place that
Yeah.
night. So when you guys were all telling me y'all were hearing the cat cry, not that one, not that
And key cats out right now.
one. But I thought y'all were crazy. I was like, no way. I was like, you guys are hearing the cat cry. I was like, I never thought about it until like an hour and a half later into that night in the house. It's like I started hearing the cat crying.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's
I just
Yeah.
stood there for the longest time, just staring at the wall, like, where the hell is that coming from? You know.
Right.
And it was not coming from outside. It was coming from like somewhere like on the other side of the wall, inside.
yeah. It was.
Yeah, it was
It's
definitely in the
fun.
building. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
That's
just,
crazy.
it was
Yeah.
insane. Yeah, we've witnessed a couple of crazy things throughout our history. You know. So.
Yeah.
Anything else on the Tower of London? you
Well,
want to talk
no,
about,
because
or-
basically, you know, and I would imagine that if you go there, there's a lot more that.
Yeah, they say talk to the night guards. There's a lot of stories they have.
I just hit on the
Bunch of things.
no
Yeah.
bigger.
I'd love to go there too. It's all just the old part of the world, England and all that stuff, you know, and Great Wall of China.
We just
Just all
need to
kinds of-
travel. God
I
bless
get
it.
rich and famous. Let's go.
Who's gonna win the lottery?
Yep.
I'm trying. I'm trying. We're all trying. You know.
Yeah, well,
We are. Very good. You want to take? Go ahead, sorry. What's up?
The Tower of London, is that by any chance, besides from one of his wives, is it connected to any other sort of hauntings that are in the area as well? Because England has
Yeah.
so many.
Well, you mentioned several.
Yeah, the two little boys that were murdered there. And
Woman in white.
yeah, and they evidently they don't know who she is, but she's evidently been seen and smelled her perfume and stuff. And
So Anne was murdered. Well, the guillotine, executed. You know. Was it guillotine or was it by axe?
Axe.
It was by axe.
English did the axe.
Oh,
later on, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said that would be worse than the guillotine, because the guillotine would be quick.
And you're just standing there, and there's a guy standing there with an axe, and you're looking at
Sharp
as you're walking up to it, you know.
Yeah. They always did it in the center square, usually that way they could.
Yeah.
Oh, they used to
Show
sell
you
tickets. I mean, they have people. It was a big.
It was the TV of the day, basically, you know.
Or your brand, you know, your brandy and all that out there, and your beer,
blood from
yeah.
Get
Get your chicken leg, and you're having a good time out there as you're watching somebody die.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that there's been a lot more people that were murdered there, and
the wars and different things.
Everybody was trying to be the king or be next to the king, and you know.
Yeah. Definitely. Very cool. Yeah, good one. Let's we take a break, or we're gonna keep going, or what do you want to do?
We can take a break.
Let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, there's gonna be a good one that's gonna tell people in the chat line. It's gonna give people nightmares. Trust me. I can't wait to get this one.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite places. We'll be right back. even better.
I just like that sound.
All right. So we'll be back after a short break here. It'll be less than a minute. And we'll go strong. But I think we talked about it across the world.
I think we have.
Yeah. All right. We're back after that short little break. Sorry about that, guys. We just want to get some advertisements out of the way there. And like I said, what I'm about ready to talk about hopefully gives you nightmares. If not, it's a very interesting place that I would love. If I could go one place in the world, this is the place I would love to go to.
That's just weird.
That's what I want to go to.
And Renee's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people that are opposite on this.
So this place we're talking about hopefully gives you nightmares. We'll start getting some pictures up here in a little bit. I know everybody loves dolls, right? From Chucky to you know whatever. This one is called the Island of the Dolls. It's located out of. Don't play the video yet.
I don't know why I did that. I get
You're fun.
Finger off the key.
Right.
Basically, the Island of the Dolls is located just south of Mexico City in the canals of Ocochimo. I can't say the word. Ocochimico? Something like that. I may be saying it wrong. Even though I'm Hispanic, you'd think I would know that. It's a small island. The whole thing of it was there was a guy named Don. Don Julian Santana Barrera. basically what it was, he was the caretaker of the island. It was a family island, and he was out there one day, and basically he looked down in the canals surrounding the water, and there was a little girl face down there, floating.
Jeez.
Yeah, she was dead, and it broke his heart. Basically, he was so devastated by it that he just felt like he had a connection with the girl, and he decided to put up a doll in honor of her. She had a doll right next to her that was floating. He took the doll, hung it up on the island. That was the first doll ever. After that, he would just continually. He became obsessed with putting these dolls up nonstop, and it became a thing to him. Well, supposedly you can hear the girl. That's Don Julian right there on the screen right now. He was the caretaker of the island, like I said. The whole thing with this spirit of this girl just started to haunt him. He kept hanging more and more dolls just to please the spirits. They were starting to take over his mind, basically. Then it became a thing where he soon realized the dolls themselves were starting to become possessed by the spirit of the dead girl.
Jeez.
And he continued to collect creepy doll after creepy doll and put them all over the island to hopefully, throw it off the spirit, or, basically keep it at bay or peace and everything like that. Then, I guess over time, some of the family members started to visit him, and they noticed that he became a changed person. He started to be driven by something tied to the island itself, but he would never want to leave. I mean, he just wanted to get more dolls to this, and there's all types of dolls you can see on screen. He spent a good 50 years collecting the dolls.
That one actually kind of looks like me.
That's just, man.
Yeah, he spent over 50 years collecting these dolls, hanging them on the island, and then one day they went out there and Don Julian himself was found dead, drowned in the same spot where the girl was found originally. So
Really?
Some people think that it was the girl's spirit calling him to the water, come join and be with me, because he had such a strong connection to this girl. I love it that I'm talking about the story and the cat's going crazy, by the way. It makes me happy.
Freaking my cat out.
I know, right? I'm just getting started. No, I'm kidding. But anyway, they found him in the exact same spot, and basically they think the girl was calling him to the water to be with him. He has such a strong connection with her. And is that upstairs? Is that running?
Yeah, that happens all the time.
Wow.
My cat's actually right here.
Yeah.
So
I love it because they were talking about scary things, and this is usually what happens on locations. It starts stirring things up. It makes me happy. That happened in 2001, by the way, when Don Julian passed away, and ever since then it's become a tourist attraction where, as you come, the whole thing is you have to bring a doll to the island. That's
no thanks.
To give it, to appease the island itself, or otherwise it could have a bad negative reaction to you.
I'm not going.
Excuse me. I'm burping over here. I apologize. What would it be? No, I was choking up over here. But anyways, like I said, all these dolls on the island, there's been so many shows been down there. I know Destination Truth, Josh Gates, one of our favorites, went down there, and he had a good incident happen to him, which we'll show here in a little bit. Ghost Adventures have been there, and they got totally freaked out. I mean, Zach and
he always does.
Yeah, and it's on the video too. And it's funny to me, the whole thing. Like I said, just the imagery itself is alone is creepy.
How he depicts the bodies of these dolls and the way he hangs them
By the neck.
by the neck, or just certain ways,
Yeah.
it's just it's creepy.
Yeah.
How is he appeasing the spirit of the child?
In his mind, he was told to do this, whatever, by the girl to make her happy, and then the spirit started telling him, hey, you need to do this more, or it's going to cause chaos.
It sounds just like the Winchester house.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And the thing about this too, you have to get down there. To get there, you have to fly into a certain part, and then you have to boat down there, like on a either gondola kind of looking thing, or some local will take you down there. But the locals refuse to stay on the land. They won't step foot on the land. They'll just go around the outside of it. And B, especially at night, if they're going to go in there, most of them take off and say, "We'll see you later. We'll come get you tomorrow morning." They won't stick around at night out there. They're terrified of the place because of all the sounds, the voices, the noises.
Look at that.
I mean, the imagery. They're really. There's also a threat of people have seen in Mexican folklore. It's called the La Llorona. It's a woman dressed in white. The thing is if you see a white owl around, which are kind of hard to find, especially in Mexico, I'm sure. But they're around though. They're around here in the U.S. Too. That the La Llorona is going to come and get you basically. If you see her, you're going to die basically. It can be put on by a Mexican curse, voodoo curse. It can be means death is imminent.
Bruja.
Yep. Bruja is another one. That's a witch. Yep.
So is that connected to this?
They say it's seen that people have seen her down there in that area. That's another reason the Mexican people won't stick around, because they think that if they see her, we're gonna die. So they just want to get in and get out of their business. They won't come around the island. They'll take tourists down there, but like I said, they'll hang out in the waters. They won't get on the actual shore. One of Don Julian's, I think it's his brother or his cousin or something like that. Still, he's the caretaker of the land now. He goes down there and gives offerings and stuff like that. He'll give them, favorite drink, certain food, he'll put out there for offerings and stuff like that.
That one's just awful.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, there's quite a few, and that's just some of the fun ones I found.
They look like they're coming at you and coming for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that one.
Yeah, there's some creepy ones. There was one that as soon as you get there off the pier, the little boat dock, they greet you right there and says welcome, whatever, in Spanish, benavides, and it's just dolls everywhere. Now, of course, there is venomous spiders down there everywhere, so that adds to the why you wouldn't want to go there. And I think there's some poisonous snakes there too, lurking in the waters and on land. The whole thing is just creepy. I mean, I love it. Like I said, it's gonna give you nightmares. So
I like that one.
I love them. I love them all. And everybody, I know people don't like dolls. I'm always on locations. Like, if I hear a doll's haunted there, or if there's a doll present, I'm always trying to get it to move and interact. And
oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. They've been on many locations.
I think they just need to go and put Annabelle out there.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
she belongs there.
She might be queen of the
It's
dolls.
like, I'm home.
Yeah.
Do they ever see a doll move?
Oh yeah, that's we'll see here
Okay,
shortly. Yeah,
okay.
The dolls are possessed to this day. So you go there and you see them. They move, they talk, they do different things. I mean, and there's no electricity, no batteries. On Destination's Truth, when they were down there, there's a shack where he lived, and they went in there and took turns doing sessions, and you could hear things on the outside scratching on the walls, and there was nobody around. You could hear them. It freaked out one of them that he ran. It was one of the cameramen. It was one of the sound guys. He took off running out of the shack. He couldn't take it anymore. He's like, I'm done. He's barely not even 10, 15 minutes into it. He's like, I'm out of here. There's no way I'm doing this. And they could hear,
I love it.
when it was going on in Jocelyn, you could hear things in the waters. Like, it was stirring up things in the water, and you could hear, sounds just echoing all over the land itself. And it wasn't locals. It was the spirits on the island. So definitely a place I want to go to, and I'll probably by myself because these guys are all scared of dolls. And
I'll go. If you're going, I'm going.
I mean, even
I love it.
Renee says that as much as she hates creepy dolls, that she would go.
I just may have my machete or my bat with me, and I might be hitting a few dolls just to get out of my way.
I'd be more afraid of the spiders.
Yeah, that too. But we've been in places where there's spiders everywhere. There's gross things, animals.
Seeing that and then seeing a spider come out of his mouth or something like that would freak me out.
Yeah, if I had one place they say anywhere in the world you want to go for an investigation, that would be the one probably. Because I hear it's horrific just being out there and stuff like that. So
for spider webs, you just have somebody else walk in front of you first.
Well, that's an idea.
I do that all the time.
We'll have Paul go out there and do her spider dance. She's in for the sport.
when I'm going with Brendan. And we're out in the field with Bigfoot in Kansas, we're doing the case.
Yeah.
I always have him walk forward.
Well, of course you do.
Of course. Yeah, he's big and tall, so he's looking all.
He just wipes it all out. I'm like, I'm good.
I think we were in, I want to say it was Ness. It might have been Overland, and you walked through. Renee walked through, and I walked in directly behind Renee because I'm taller than both of you. I was like, spiderweb in the face. I was like, there's growth.
Renee's taller than me.
Yeah,
That doesn't say much.
She's taller. Everybody's taller. I'm sorry.
I don't care. I don't remember the last time I hit my head.
Yeah. I have it in my head.
Did they ever say where he got all these dolls? Does he?
Just
I think
randomly
he would
collect
go
them.
onto the land, he would go and get supplies to eat and stuff like that, and or people visiting him, you had to bring him a doll, you know, to hang out. But I think he went out and collected them himself. But I mean, there's dolls everywhere.
Is it that water there?
Yeah,
that
that's
he
the
was
canals on the outside. That's what he found in one of those.
And that's where he found her, and then that's where he later
50
died.
years later, he
What was the cause of his death?
drowning. They said face down, same spot. That people think that whatever the water, the girl would call to him, so you think he went in or whatever. Nobody knows. That's just it. That's added to the mystery.
Was he the only one living on the island?
Yeah, he was a caretaker of it. He was the one that you know, for all those years decided to whatever in the water.
Cat.
Yeah. So we're gonna play a video here real quick if Max has it ready to go. And this is when Destination's Truth was there, and this is when right after Ghost Adventures was there. Not the same time, years apart, but I put both videos on there. It's gonna be quick and fast. And we'll be back after a few here. Just whenever you're ready, Max.
As they open the ties of my pants. Oh my God. And I'm done. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. You didn't see it?
I think it.
Oh!
I saw it again.
It opened its eye.
Ready?
No, I'm not ready for this.
Oh. Whoa! Bro, come here! Oh my God. Oh my God.
One of them's laughing.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, bro.
Holy this.
What the
So that was Destination's Truth. As you can see, Josh Gates is an archaeologist. He has, his doctorate in it. Not doctorate. He has his degree in it. Excuse me. And he was terrified. He goes, "If that doll's eyes open, I'm out of here." And sure as shit, that doll eyes popped open. There's no electricity on the island itself. No batteries. And then, Big Bad Brave Ghost Adventures went out there, and they had a doll. I can't remember the doll's name. I want to say it's Henry. I have to look at it again. Sorry about that. But it's a doll that's possessed. One of the famous ones. It's not Robert the doll. I know that. They took him down to this island, and since it's a doll, they want to just have interactions, just get things stirred up, basically. Well, as they were going to take the doll out of the case, that doll with no batteries in it started laughing hysterically, like ha ha, like it was possessed, and it scared the living shit out. You see Zach run because he was right next to it, and Aaron's freaking out. He goes, "Dude, the doll is not, there's nothing in this." They turned around and looked for batteries. There's no batteries. It just came alive, dude. I don't know. It's funny because go back and watch it if you have time, because Aaron's reaction, he's like, "Bro," he's like freaked out. It's hilarious, man. It made me laugh. But I mean, I had seen years ago episodes about that before they even went there. This was like about a year ago. They went there and they scared the living shit out of them, guys, and it made me happy. So I love it. So yeah, like I said, it's definitely on my bucket list. I don't know if anybody else wants to go, but I would.
Yep.
I just want to go.
If you go, I'll go.
Yeah.
I'll go.
Well, we're a team.
Where's it at?
It's just south of Mexico City, so in the center of Mexico, down south, whatever. Yeah, it's very crazy down there.
Alright,
It's
get our passports up to date. Let's go.
I don't have one.
Mine are good to go.
I don't have one.
Well, you need one because if you go down there,
I'll just show my green card to get back, right? That's my fear if I go to Mexico, they'll keep me down there. So, but I was born in the U.S. Sure you were. Harold the Doll. That's it. Harold the Doll. Yeah, it's one of the famous ones, and they took it out, and it was if they can get the doll out. Yeah.
What's Harold the Doll look like?
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly. I should have put that on there. God, I didn't think about that. Yeah, we get pulled up real fast. But
I just want to see what.
Did they bring
Henry
the doll back?
Oh yeah, they didn't leave them there. No, because that wasn't their doll.
And that was there at the island.
On the island. They were going to reach down and pick him up out of the actual.
Why were they taking him?
Because it's a doll and it's possessed, and it's one of the famous ones.
And they had the right to do it.
The owners said, yeah, they brought it back with them. Yeah, the doll's pretty tore up and stuff. They had him in a bag and stuff, and like I said, they didn't even get him out of the bag yet. They had him. They carry him in a special case that nobody can see him for that reason, because you look at it, it's one of the dolls that can possess you and everything, and it's kind of like Robert the Doll. Say what?
Well, what's the story behind
Harold the doll?
Yeah.
Don't ask me all these questions,
I'm
Jason.
sorry.
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
He's a damn doll.
Because I'm intrigued.
One question leads to another, which
I
leads
know.
to
Now I'm
another.
fascinated by Harold the
There's so
doll.
many dolls out there that are,
There's
haunted.
books written about this
Yeah.
guy and everything. Why
Yeah,
is a guy
give me a
like
second.
this person that's a damn doll?
Well,
Let's see
it's
here.
Harold.
Harold the
Listen, can we
doll.
not talk about haunted dolls? Because every time we do,
This thing opens its
my
eyes.
stuff out.
He's playing in the
Did
video
anyone
behind
else
again.
see that?
Hey, that's all right. That's cool. It's
Yeah,
perfect
it's good
timing.
imagery.
Oh,
Trying to find it real fast. Sorry.
So he's got overalls. I mean, he's kind of cute.
I mean,
I
it's
think
one
the
of the
baby's cute.
He's a happy little thing.
He's happy, all right. Happy to scare the queen out of you.
I'm trying to get it pulled
That's
up real
interesting.
fast. Yeah, it's just one of those dolls that basically supposedly is possessed by a demon entity, possibly.
I believe
That,
So why?
but come on.
Why are demons picking like these?
Well, think
Yeah,
about it. This is
yeah.
the best way to get in the house.
Yeah,
The
true.
child
Who
Very
would you
true.
go through?
That's
To
true.
the child. The child is innocent. Blank slate, like I always call it. And
That's true.
who always has imaginary friends? They're maybe not so imaginary. Next thing you know, it's trusting.
That's
There's
true.
always a report if you have a demon in your house. Supposedly, you'll always see a little girl, never a boy, a little girl, because the little girls are innocent, and sweet, and you're like, oh, she's just so sweet, kind of a thing. It's never, hey, it's a boy running around throwing a ball down the stairs, kind of a thing. It's play with me, kind of a thing, innocent, so sweet, and you're like, oh God, I'm not getting rid of this girl. She's so innocent and sweet, and yeah, I saw this knocking upstairs and this really raw growl and stuff. It's been reported over and over. Demonic cases. What?
I gotta move out.
I say I got a motive. I was like, what's your motive?
I gotta move out. Jeremiah and Steph came over here, and we were sitting right where you guys are.
Right in the
And
chair.
Stephanie turned around, and she was like, "Oh, we didn't bring the kids." And of course, I looked at her like, "No." And she was like, "No, I just saw a little girl leave your kitchen." And I was like, "That's cool."
But not all little girl ghosts are haunted or devil, or demonic, whatever.
You never know.
Yeah, not all of them. There's actually little girl ghosts.
Is there though?
Depends who you ask.
That's true though, but yeah, taking a doll into the house is one way of getting a spirit in or a demonic entity.
You have that Olga one too.
Duh.
That's Harold the doll.
Right.
That's what Harold the doll actually looks like. That's on camera.
Oh,
Can see it. Oh, I lost connection. What the blazes?
What the blazes?
You thought it was a touchscreen?
Is that
Oh,
not?
I did.
Is that not who I?
It is.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
that
that's just
imagery,
different angle to
I
it.
don't think you quite can't see very well.
Oh,
But
he's
He
all
can-
cracked.
Yeah, his legs are all cracked.
that's why they keep him in this
He
case.
doesn't
I know
look so
people
happy
don't-
there.
Yeah, people don't.
He's still smiling.
Yep.
He's got like a
But yeah, it's one of those dolls
puffed
that
up eyes.
are possessed, where the doll's eyes have been known to open on its own, kind of a thing, and it's possessed by a demon.
Does it talk?
I don't know that off the top of my head, but there's so many dolls out there that are possessed. There's video after video of dolls moving, and of course, can you?
Robert one and
Robert the doll.
Robert's one of the famous ones. Harold's one of the famous ones. Annabelle is another famous one. I mean, there's so many out there that.
Annabelle the Raggedy Ann doll.
Yeah, but
I think they should have used the Raggedy Ann doll because I think it's scarier than the one they
Uh,
had later.
yeah, that one was too Hollywood magic. That's the
I
problem.
think it could have been marketing too.
Yeah,
They
it could have been
have-
copyright. You can't do it.
Did they
So.
even make those anymore?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I love going to if you have a chance, go out to the Decatur County Last Indian Raid Museum out in Oberlin. They have 2 or 3 of them out there, and I always point it out. Hey, guys, you ever heard the story of Annabelle?
Oh, we were out. Yeah, we were out there. I was telling
That's why.
my group
Yep,
about
that's it.
that. There's at least 4.
There's 2 in that
Yeah.
main room, and there's 1 in the new doll room. That's the annex.
Yeah.
It's like an
Yeah,
annex.
in the annex.
There's
Yeah,
3 more in there
Yeah.
too. Yeah, and I pointed
one
them
in
out.
a box even,
Yep.
like brand new.
Well, you start thinking about all the haunted dolls, and then you get in there, and you're just surrounded
love
by them.
They're all
Another
staring
place,
at you
yeah.
too,
Yes,
and I'm
yeah.
just
Another place
So
I'll tell you,
good.
go to Coffee County Museum, Historical Museum in Burlington, Kansas. There's a whole doll room, case after case after case of people donating dolls. I have it on if you go to our Instagram page, if you go to our Twitter or Facebook, I posted a picture of the doll with the tuberculosis with the big giant eyes. That was located in the Burlington, Kansas Coffee County
Have you
Museum.
seen that? Have you seen that? Oh, it's
Yeah.
it's freaky.
I'll show you afterwards, but yeah, we'll go out there one of these days and investigate again. I've been there a couple of times, and it's From the minute we got there, the minute we left, it was nonstop activity.
I
And it's
want to.
amazing. It's a beautiful museum, so we'll go back one of these days. So,
And even
This
heard,
weekend, too.
and you even heard children
oh yeah,
there too, along with
Children and dolls? No way.
yeah.
in a different part though. Where the
Yeah,
child was
I'm
in,
I'm
yeah,
saying no way. It just sounds.
where the child was there's. We also heard the infamous. They were getting ready to set up for the Veterans Day display, and they had all the uniforms on display in the very back, laid out, and had a recorder back there going. And that's where we caught the "Let the Bomb Go."
Yeah.
It's on our website.
It's on the evidence stuff.
Yeah, that's from
For
County County
EDs,
Museum.
stuff like that. Yeah.
It wasn't even on display yet. It was just in the back location. We went later on when they actually had them on display. It was a beautiful display, kind of like the Decatur counties. But
I still can't get over the little girl saying "Papa,
yeah,
wait for me,
yep. Papa, wait for me, and like you hear her like kind of running.
wait
Really?
for me," and it
Yeah,
just
crying.
sounds very.
It was caught on two
Weird.
recorders. Yeah,
Sounds very weird as she tapers off.
yeah, yeah. It was crazy. We heard that guy singing that song, which we still can't figure out to this day.
Right.
But it was a recorder that was right by a train display and all these little trains and stuff. And to me, it's like it says that Dinah's, somebody's in the kitchen with Dinah. That's what it sounds like to me, which makes sense because that's what they used to sing on the train. But
I wish
I still can't tell what it says 100%.
I missed both times.
Yeah, we'll go back again, trust me. So, all right, guys, that's my fun ghost story. That's one of my favorite ones. Island of the Dolls. Like I said, take a trip, have fun, and get scared and sleep tight tonight. Yep. So, you want to go to the next one?
Sure, absolutely.
Whenever we're ready, go ahead.
I'm
Jason.
ready. Well, I picked this place because it's one of my favorite movies.
I believe it.
And I'm talking about the Ohio State Reformatory, which is also Mansfield Prison.
Yep.
Um,
Very famous.
It's yes, very famous. It's beautiful. I love this place. I just had to pick this picture just because of the background and everything in that
Yep.
picture. Of course, Max keeps taking it away from our view.
I know, we're trying to look at
But
And then we see dead bodies.
yeah, then we're looking at more dogs.
everywhere.
But built over a century ago, and it closed in the early 1990s, and has been since open to the public. It was when it was a jail. It housed anywhere between 1,200 to 3,000 people, and you can see the landscape here. It was massive, almost like a castle. Some of the locals even call it their own Dracula Castle, just because of how it looks and how it looks something just right out of the medieval times. What makes it famous today is the fact that back in the 90s they had the movie Shawshank Redemption,
Yep.
which is one of my favorite movies.
Great movie.
You have
Great movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
Andy and Red, one of my favorite two characters. I mean, the movie didn't get a great response at the time, but since then it's gotten just a cult
Yeah.
following.
It's filmed on location, right?
It's filmed all on location.
Yeah,
They did it
amazing.
all inside.
Mhm.
There's a picture of what it would have looked like back at the time when the guards were there. And love that. Now, right there, kind of doesn't really do it justice either, but
Yeah.
the inside, right? Okay, so the next picture does too.
Yeah.
Some of the cells can go up six. They call it 6 tiers.
Yep.
So 6 levels of just in one area alone can hold up to 1,200 prisoners.
It's one of
It was one of the largest
Crazy.
ever.
Yep.
And it's the fact that they had that many people in there. Now in the 20s they had a jailbreak.
Yep.
Attempted jailbreak. There was a guard that was shot. Mayhem. There's over 150 plus deaths that were there in the place, and not only it was not just by old age or anything like that. It was or natural. There was suicides. Some of them while they were in solitary confinement. There was the warden that he lived there on the property with his wife and kids. She was getting ready for Sunday church one day, and she was in the bedroom getting dressed, and she was reaching up into some of the shelves. Didn't know that there was a pistol that was hidden away up there that I guess her husband put up there. It fell, discharged, and shot her because it got her just pretty much near the heart, and she died there on the property too. Which is someone that, ever since now that it's open, you know, to the public, people go there to do either the Shawshank Redemption tour, or they're doing it for the ghost tour and everything. And one of the things that you can go there and see is still some of the props from the movie Shawshank Redemption, which is right there. Brooks was here, and so was Red, which they still have on display that you can see. It's supposed to be a boarding house that was, you know, off in the city somewhere else, but it was all right there. I think they even have like a little mannequin of Brooks standing there with his briefcase. And they even have the tunnel where Andy made his escape from. They have that there. And as you can see, this, I mean, it's still beautiful. It's falling apart. And, you know,
places are decrepit, but
it's decrepit, but it still looks amazing. It still looks just like it did back in the time when it was being built, you know.
Just the tiers themselves are pretty crazy looking. I mean, with all the bars and everything. Go ahead.
Too early.
Sorry. You're fine.
But when you do the ghost tour, there's so many people that actually claim of not only seeing the spirits running around there, but this is a known location where people are getting physically attacked in this place. They are so many ghost hunters go there. It's been part of shows, of course, like that. And Max put up that picture there. I can't see it, but supposedly, you know, they're talking about a shadow down there in the back, peering around the cell there. There's videos of people talking of having a presence near them where they're actually, you know, feeling the pressure, feeling the touch. There's also a picture of somebody with scratch marks on their stomach. I believe that's their stomach. Or their back. Their back.
There's quite a few of those pictures around.
Yeah. And it's you know, so it's kind of one of those enter at your own risk. You know, it's if you're going to tour it, there's a possibility that you might run into something. I mean, it was housing for. It started off as a place for minor crimes and stuff like that, but because there was such an overwhelming amount of criminals that were coming about in the 20s, 30s, and all that, they started to house a lot of the more criminals like murderers and psychopaths and stuff. So it was just getting a mixture of everything in there. And they said that you can still see there's a female spirit that is seen along that road right there as you're pulling into the drive. She is seen on multiple occasions driving in. They don't really know too much about her, but she's dressed in white and she's out there. But definitely a place I want to see. Doing the Wichita Ghost Tour, I've had so many people on the tour that have said that, you know, they've been here, been there, but I always ask, you know, have you been to, you know, Mansfield? And they're like, oh yes, been there, saw the Shawshank, loved it. It was, so they're always like rubbing it into me. You know, you need to go see it. You need to go see it. But you know, they do the tours daily. You do get to pick which one you want to go on. Do you want to just go see the Hollywood version, or do you want to go see the actual hauntings of the prison?
Hauntings would be more.
What's that?
Hauntings would be more.
Max and I had talked about when we first started going. I mean, we first met Max about you can go out there and do the anniversary tour. That it was, remember? Yeah. And we talked about, you know, you thought you might go out there, but I couldn't do it. Good stuff going on at the time, and but I would love to go out there. Yeah, but definitely love to go out there and do a tour and investigations.
I think it was like $50 or something to actually go out and do the actual.
You could do 2 days, or you could do
Yeah, it was-
multiple nights.
No kidding.
Yeah, it was an actual
dinner.
like public investigation,
Yeah.
like how we do it.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, come on.
Yeah, I would love to go out there. I know when Ghost Adventures are out there too, they've been there a couple years ago, but it's been a while. But
Right.
a couple times they've been there. They encountered, well, when they first got there, all their mics cut out. Like they lost power to all their, their mics, the battery packs, and they were brand new batteries. You couldn't hear them on camera, only on their handheld camera. You could hear their voices. They talked to a couple of the tour guides and stuff there, and they all had stories. And there's some those girls that quit. Well, there's a girl that quit because she couldn't take it anymore, but they brought her back in, and she actually stayed with them for a little bit. Went to the cell that freaked her out the most. They also met an inmate. I can't remember his name. I want to say his name was Red. He's since passed away, but
Red from the movie?
no,
Yeah,
no, it wasn't Red. I can't remember what his name was, but he had a guy. There was a guy that actually lit himself on fire in there.
Yes,
One of
I
the
did read
inmates.
that. Yeah.
And the guy was right next to him. It was a cellmate, or next door to him. Well, after that happened, he swears. Well, the guy that did himself on fire was screaming that there's something in my cell constantly with him, like something dark in there. They kept feeling this, He swore up and down that there's something that was in him. That's why he committed this heinous act to get out of this situation. His cellmate next to him, you could hear him screaming, and hear voices in there, and it freaked him out. The guy had got out, and they interviewed him and stuff like that. Years later on, he would come back, and he went in there and he started freaking out. He goes, "That guy's on me." The guy that burned himself, he was just freaking out. He was like, "Get off me, get off me!" He was cussing and just losing his damn mind on camera. Of course, it could be whatever, but. I guess, that they left and all that went away. And then they came back again later on, like a couple seasons later, and they asked that guy to come out again. And the guy was going to come, and all of a sudden he never showed up. They're like, "What's going on? That's weird." His niece called him and said that he was on the way out to the airport to go out there and, like the next day. And the night before, he's like, that guy, I want to say that his name was Red, but maybe not, because of Red, the whole thing. But he kept saying, "He's on me, whatever, he's coming to get me again." And the guy ended up dying of a heart attack before he made the actual episode, the prisoner that was still alive.
No kidding.
Yeah, I think he died of a heart attack. I know he had a heart attack, I want to say, but he never made it out to them. So the place still to this day haunts the former inmates and things of that nature. The guards talk about it, the inmates talk about it, kind of a thing. And it's an imposing building. I would love to go out there. It's one of the ones prisons always been fascinating me. Prisons like Alcatraz to Mansfield to Insane Asylum.
Oh, yeah.
I did
a lot of dark.
St. Augustine jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to go to Eastern State Penitentiary. That's one of the ones where Al Capone was over. He's been quite
Missouri.
He's been everywhere.
Missouri, yeah. Prison of Missouri is a good one.
Yeah, Al Capone got around, which.
Well, yeah, they had to. They had to because of the fact that his notoriety, notoriety and stuff. So, but yeah, that's one prison I would love to go. It's one of those. I know if you do ghost hunting, you follow the shows, everybody's been there, knows of it, kind of a thing. It's popular. Of course, with Shawshank Redemption, that's made it even more popular. I
love the Hollywood aspect about it, so it just draws me to it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I said, it's a great movie, and it's filmed all on location there. So I'd love to hear their stories. The actors, I bet you they can tell you some stories of things going on that didn't go off right or whatever, some weird occurrences. But very cool. Very great one. Yeah, can't go wrong with that person. So definitely. What else you got? Sure. Do you have any more commercials you want to throw real quick, or are we good? Okay. We got 20 minutes or 15 minutes left, so we're gonna go on to Michelle on her final topic for the evening.
Okay, this is the Suicide Forest.
Say the name. Say the name.
Come on.
Say the name.
You guys can read that name. I may sound like I speak Japanese sometimes, but that sounds good.
Okigahara.
Okigahara.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Oh, okay.
It is. Okigahara. Yeah, it is. It's
well,
go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, okay. Okay. This is the second most notorious place for suicides in the world. The Golden Gate Bridge is actually the first.
Yeah.
Which I found was kind of.
Yeah.
That is actually very interesting.
There's a documentary about that. Sorry.
Yeah. And it's in Japan at Mount Fuji. the forest there.
Yep.
They thought that maybe the reason that people started going there to commit suicide at first was because of a novel that came out. It was a love story. But they actually say that hundreds had hung themselves before that. They think that that there was demons and bad spirits that were attracted there because, yeah,
Sorry.
Because back when food was scarce and everything, they'd take the elderly out and just leave them. And I suppose, you know, just anybody that they didn't figure would, might not survive or anything. And they thought that a lot of the bad spirits and demons came from doing that. That's what started it. Most people commit suicide there by hanging, some by pills. There's a sign there that's asking you not to commit suicide, and think of
Just asking you.
yeah, think of your family. And there's also a hotline number there.
Just tell you seek help is what it's trying to tell you.
Yeah,
it's not
basically,
worth it.
yeah, you know, because you're going to be hurting your family. You're not going to be just hurting yourself.
That's cool.
Well, I've got 1998. There were 74 bodies. Now these are bodies they found. There are bodies that they have not found, or they just
assume that they're out there, or
well, they come across them every once in a while.
There's their cars, their clothes, the memorabilia,
and the bones. Sometimes they
missing
yeah.
persons report.
A lot of it is there's a car that's been in the parking lot for so long. They know that they've gone in. They found tents. I guess the forest is just littered with people's possessions.
It is. Yeah.
Tents and stuff. Even when they go out, and if they really don't know if they want to commit suicide or not, they'll take ribbons and tie it around the tree so they can find their way back out.
It's like,
and that's how they find a lot of people. They just follow the ribbon. And generally, I will say that some of these pictures are very graphic. We do have dead bodies. And like I said, most of them are by hanging, so it's not pretty.
Right.
But 1998, 74 people they found. In 2002, there were 78. In 2003, 100. In 2004, 108.
Is that real?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
It looks like mannequins, you know.
No,
that's crazy.
They've been out there for months. It's elements. It is what it is.
Right. Yeah. And I didn't mean it, but man, that's
yeah. And they're just all over the place.
Did you put it on? Did you put it on there yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on.
Oh, that's where it's on. I couldn't tell if that was the one.
Yeah, at any time you can walking around. That's why they don't want you to go off the paths. Anybody can go there. They don't want you to go off the paths because you'll get, number one, you get lost, and number two, they're just constantly running into people. And they only do it annually now because there's so much, they go out and pick up the bodies annually. That's what I found was interesting, that when the workers that go out, they pick up the bodies, they take them back, they put them in a room. Then somebody has to stay in the room with the bodies because they believe that if they don't have a person in there with them, that the bodies will, it's bad luck, and the bodies will start screaming, and the bodies will get up and they'll shuffle around and start searching for a human or somebody alive for their companionship.
That's nuts.
You got to think they're alone. They felt alone in the world, that this is their way out is to commit suicide. And so why wouldn't they think if the bodies are alone again? Why wouldn't they get up and
wander around? So that's how they keep them while they're trying to find family and stuff. But there is a video out there, Suicide Forest in Japan, that the gentleman, that's what he does. He goes out and searches for the bodies, and it was pretty interesting. It's really, it's sad.
It is.
And
tragic.
Like I said, in Japan, suicide is not thought of like it is here. I mean, it's more acceptable over there because of the ancient samurai that used to
with the sword,
commit harakiri or something. So, but I cannot imagine but they think that you know, there's the spirits and everything, because so much of the dead have just gotten down into the soil from decomposition and stuff, that it's just very haunted, and there's lots of spirits.
Yeah.
Bet Bigfoot's out there.
There is the one Yeti out there. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can't believe you really Bigfoot's out there.
Once again,
Yeah.
Destination Truth went out there, did an episode out there also too.
Right.
That's how I first heard about it, was
Right.
from them, and they actually found an empty tent that had been out there. You could tell it had been out there a little while in the elements. So, or it was still, there was still food and water in there, so it was more recently. You could tell they found a guy's driver's license buried in a hole, like a picture of a girl, like maybe a love interest, and the guy's driver's license with it. So that guy is probably safe to say he probably did something, you know, committed suicide. They actually went out there and they bumped into a couple guys out there. Like, well, and this in the middle of the night, of course. You know, they're like, well, "What's going on, guys? You know, why you out here?" And the Japanese, one of them spoke English, and they're like, "Oh, we're just kind of looking for spirits." And so, but they were 2 or 3 guys, so maybe they were okay. It wasn't like a suicide pack or anything.
Well, they say that a lot of people are going out there to steal, you know, take the possessions that they've left behind.
Right.
I leave my wallet at home.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just crazy. It's a crazy place. I mean, it's well known. Like, if you go out there, and the government's real protective of it. They're like when they go out there, just even go out there, where go out there and just suicide for why kind of thing. You know, what are your means? Are you going to commit suicide? We're not going to let you do it. Or like I said with Destination Truth, that they had to go out and get special permission from the government to even go out there. So we're here to film a documentary about this place. We heard about it. But they had to have a guy with them. I think they had a guy with them at all times, except when they went to the forest. He didn't want to go in there, so he waited on the outside, if I remember right. So it's pretty crazy. I mean, it's a tragic place. It's sad.
It is sad. The video,
Yeah.
the guy, there was they found a tent with a person in it, and the guy said, "Well, I'm just here till tomorrow. I'm just visiting," and he said, "Man." He said he's probably thinking about it.
I feel like I watched that video in the documentary. I almost felt like I know about the guy that did all that.
He was just very calm. And, I mean, he
his
was.
job.
Yeah, but it's to think that, I mean, there's probably been 1,000 people that have gone out there and they haven't. Yeah. You know, then they just.
I know Hollywood did a movie, a year or 2 ago.
Yeah.
Where they. What's that?
It was actually a pretty good movie.
Was it? Where she went to go search for her sister. Supposedly disappeared out there, but when she's out there, she's, you know, encountering things coming up out of the water and all this stuff.
Horse coming alive, or
basically,
yeah.
Which you never know. I mean, what if that is what happens to some people?
I mean, Hollywood did Chernobyl, so I mean, it's a scary story too, you know. So I mean, they always find it kind of. I don't know. That's fine. It's Hollywood. I was gonna say something.
I do believe that there's probably paranormal out there.
They caught evidence out there and stuff. They saw
just the tragedy of it all. I mean, the emotions that are going to be attached to that. You know, either the bloodshed or whatever,
death,
the loss
despair.
of life.
Unfinished
business. I mean, any number of those things that what we claim to make a ghost, are going to be there.
Right.
And most of the time, it is through suicide, which, you know,
it's a violent end.
Well, and it's kind of like the city that we're trying to work on, you know, and how many suicides are happening in and around that area.
Yeah, and you saw that place when we went out there and we toured the place where a lot of them happened, that park, and it's just like it's out in the middle of the corner of a town. It's pretty desolate, kind of quiet during the nighttime, I'm sure, and it's just it's a lonely place out there. You know, it's a good place. You could do it. I mean, it's like we couldn't remember. We didn't know where. There's so many paths and stuff you could walk on. There's so many like hidden things off the beaten path that, you know, if you're really that desperate, it makes sense. But why is that happening is the question we're trying to find out. So yeah, I mean, it's crazy, very very crazy. Yep. So yeah, I mean, so this is just a few of the scariest places that we kind of like, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, we want to present. I mean, we could spend hours, episodes talking about all these. I mean, we can get through a lot of them. Alcatraz, A Scary Place. I mean, you name it. There's places all across the U.S.
Oh, I almost
Catacombs,
wanted to
yeah.
do the catacombs.
Paris,
Yeah.
Is it Paris? That's where they're at?
Yeah.
French, yeah.
The
I heard
city
that.
underneath the city.
You can go in and do the Jack the Ripper tour out in England.
Oh, yeah.
That takes you underground also too. I mean, there's so many places across the world that are just tragic and very very haunted, scary places. All the castles in England and Ireland and Scotland.
Someplace I'd like to go to. It's a post office now, but it's in Chicago, and it's where the murder house used to be.
Oh yeah.
H.H. Holmes.
Yep. H.H. Holmes. Yep.
Yeah.
That's another one. That's a good story.
And
too.
there's a post office in
Yeah.
the spot now, and I'm like,
Yeah. They just had a.
there's a basement to it too.
There was this documentary that happened, or like a TV show that happened not too long ago, a couple of months ago.
They're making a major motion picture of H.H. Holmes.
Yeah. That's a crazy story. It's,
I'm fascinated by that
Yeah.
story.
There's just so many haunted places out there.
Leo DiCaprio's playing H.H. Holmes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that. That's crazy. But yeah, so people at home, write to us, let us know, comment, let us know what's your favorite scary place. Maybe we can talk about that for you. I mean, it is that time of season, right now, Halloween. This is the time for ghost stories, ghost movies, haunted houses, some real, some fake.
We're going to be diving into investigations,
ghost tours.
Everything.
Doing all kinds of different things this month. So
This is our busy time of year. I mean, last year we about worked ourselves to death, Friday, Saturday night, and throughout the week we were busy. We're busy this year again, just different things going on with investigations and the eclipse that happened before. And you talked about that on an earlier episode not too long ago. So, any final thoughts, any wrap-ups you want to talk about, or anything? Or
we are going to be in Lawrence, Kansas this Saturday at the Eldridge Hotel.
October 14th.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And there's still spots open to come join us for the evening. It's known to be haunted. There's photographs throughout the hotel. It's haunted. So
it's in historic downtown Lawrence off of Massachusetts Street. I mean, it's a busy corner. It's a busy place. It's a beautiful
I've never been there, but I can't wait to be there to see it.
Definitely haunted, that's for sure. So come out and join us if you want to. You can go through ghosttoursofkansas.com and get tickets to there. Go through our websites. You can go to links there, find out ways to join us, Spend the night in a haunted hotel. I mean, it's going to be fun. What else you got?
Honestly, that's it. Next weekend, subject is...
We're talking about things of the darker side, even darker than what we talked about tonight, the scariest places. We're going to go into maybe things like the occult, satanic kind of a thing, just real dark things. I mean, churches, you name it. I mean, it's quite a bit of things we can tie in. There's some here locally, some far away. We'll stay tuned to that. It's going to be a pretty interesting episode. Hopefully we'll be back at our usual location.
What, you don't like my house?
No, it's not that. But every time we talk about dark things, what happens in the room? Crazy things start to happen.
I don't know if you want that here.
Yeah,
It's already here.
Yeah, so join us, stay tuned for next week. And then in 2 weeks after that, we're going to have a special episode about one of our favorite haunts, the book that's out, The Agony That Remains, Tahlequah. Our experiences down there. Pretty much everybody in this room, except for Max. Sorry, Max. Got to experience it. Yep. And we have a story to tell. We're going to have special guests on the show, author Brandon Callahan, who wrote the book and joined us. He's kind of one of our offshoots out of Kansas City, one of our paranormal teams out there we work closely with, and kind of how Road Trip started with, Jeremiah and Brandon together. That was how they met, hooked up, and in a roundabout way. And basically, we're going to have episodes dedicated to nothing but that, and that's October 22nd. So, 2 more weeks. Yep. So, it's going to be a fun episode. So, you can stay tuned for that also too. And we're just going to have some fun coming up here with in and out with some investigations and some ghost tours and things like that. So, yep. All right, y'all. Well, it's that time. 9 o'clock. Guess we're about ready to wrap up, and
I'm ready for bed.
I'm tired. We had that investigation last night. Thank you, Moonshiners, again.
It was interesting.
We're feeling it today, So we made it through another episode of the Cryptic Heartland podcast. We'll see you guys next week.
Good night.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye.